Around the world, millions of young and ambitious players share a common and exciting dream: to play for their dream club, be a star player, and adored by fans across the globe. However, at the same time, these aspiring players are all different. Different in the way that they live in different parts of the world. Some play only with their friends, some play for their local club, and some have even joined highly esteemed academies. In the end, they all live under different conditions that will ultimately determine whether or not they will be able to achieve their dreams. Or is that really true? In today's video, I'll discuss 17 different ways that you can become a professional footballer by sharing 17 unique stories of players who have all made it to the professional level, including my own story, where you should be able to take at least one actionable thing away from each story. In the process, I want to show you that reaching your dreams is not so much where you're from or how talented you are, but more of who you are and how strong your desire is to actually reach your dreams. Let's begin. We start off with a player that needs no introduction, Lionel Messi. He's not just one of the greatest footballers of all time, he's probably the greatest footballer of all time. As a young kid in Rosario, Messi had the same dreams and faced similar challenges as many of you do today. At only 11 years of age, Messi was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, and he suddenly faced a hurdle that would have shattered most dreams. He often heard from others that he was too small and that they would just break his legs as soon as he got out on the field. But he approached every practice and every game with the same mindset, a bravery and a belief in himself. Messi's family also believed in him. They decided to move thousands of miles away from the comfort of Argentina to a new country and a new city in the form of Barcelona, all in search of a better life for their son and to find the right medical treatment. In Barcelona, Messi joined La Masia, the famed youth academy. Here, on top of his medical condition, he now faced another obstacle by now having to adapt to a new environment and get to know his new teammates. This was something that proved really difficult for Messi, as he was extremely shy as a kid, as many of his former teammates have revealed. However, throughout all of this, the medical treatment and the adaptation process, Messi constantly kept his focus on doing what he loved the most, and he kept believing that it was possible for him to achieve his dream. And then at 17 years, 3 months and 22 days, Messi made his first team debut for Barcelona. Back then and until this very day, Messi remains a magician on the pitch, and his story reminds us that while life may throw unexpected hurdles at us, it is the mentality and the bravery in which we face these hurdles that will ultimately determine our success. And no one has been more successful than Lionel Messi. Now let's turn our attention to one of the most incredible stories of being a local talent and defying the odds, the story of Jamie Vardy. Jamie grew up in Sheffield in England, and he played football in the streets and the local clubs, which many of you do today. But his path to professional football was definitely not a smooth one. At 16, he was released by Sheffield Wednesday, and later he also faced rejection from countless other clubs. However, Jamie didn't give up. He continued playing for different local clubs while also working his day job in a factory, but the dream started to look like it slowly faded away. At 25 years of age, Vardy was still playing non-league football for Fleetwood Town. But he still kept going, and in the summer of 2012, he finally earned a move to championship team Leicester City. What Vardy did at Leicester City is now forever etched into the history books, breaking several goal-scoring records and leading Leicester to an unprecedented Premier League victory in 2016. Vardy's story reminds us that even when the path to success seems full of obstacles like countless rejections and a race against time, dedication to your craft, a firm belief in your own abilities, and a strong sense of patience can in the end lead to incredible achievements. I know many of you who are watching are from India, and that's why I wanted to take a moment to celebrate a true legend from your country, Sunil Chhetri. However, his story should act as a source of inspiration for everyone, no matter where in the world you're from. Sunil's journey started in the streets of Darjeeling in northeast India in humble conditions. Both of Sunil's parents were footballers, so it was not a coincidence that he had the full support of his family, who recognized his talents and encouraged his dreams. At 18 years of age, Chhetri made his professional debut for Mohun Bagan, but it wasn't until he joined JCT Mills at 21 where you would start seeing the glimpses of his goal-scoring ability. What most people consider to be Sunil's greatest achievement is his goal-scoring success for India, having become the all-time leading goal scorer with almost 100 goals. Now 39 years old, he is still performing at a high level, and by listening to many of his former and current teammates, it becomes clear as to why this is the case. Sunil is obsessed with the game of football, with always wanting to get better and keeping his body in top shape. This obsession with the game is something that all players should strive for, and it's definitely something that will not only help you reach the pro level, but also stay there. Already a World Cup winner and widely considered as one of the best players in the world today, it may seem like Mbappe have had an easy path to stardom, but there's definitely a few things that you can take away from Mbappe's path to the top. I have had a career plan since I can remember. I know what I want to do, where I want to go, and I won't let anything disturb me. From an early age, Mbappe already had a plan. This shows the true value of setting goals, having a clear plan, and then executing it to the best of your ability. My mother always told me that before being a great player, I have to be a great man. This statement shows that you should not necessarily just focus on improving your skills on the pitch or your body in the gym to reach your goals, but also have a more holistic perspective and work on yourself as a person off the pitch. Because in the end, everything in your life is connected. The last thing you can take away from Mbappe's journey is his unbelievable self-confidence, which can be illustrated in this story told by his former youth coach, Tonio Riccardi. We played a cup game against a neighboring team and it was a derby, so the atmosphere was intense. We were trailing 1-0 at halftime and in the dressing room we were very upset. Kylian just said, "Don't worry, I'll get the ball and I'll score." We went back on the pitch, he got the ball, he ran all over the pitch, dribbled every opponent, and he scored. Confidence is something that can transform a player, and it's a skill that everyone can improve. I know many of you are trying to juggle many different things in your life, and for most of you it's a combination of pursuing a career in football while also going to school or university. Player number 5 on this list did all that, earned himself multiple academic degrees, and still managed to reach the very highest levels of football. Player in question is Juan Mata. Juan was born in Burgos in Spain, and from an early age he showed promise both in football and in academics. As a kid, Mata played for Real Oviedo's academy, where he learned the foundations of balancing school and football. Later he joined Valencia, where he made his professional debut, but he didn't lose the focus and kept up the great work he did in school while simultaneously pushing for his career in football. He went on to represent Chelsea in the Premier League, and while doing so, he managed to graduate with not only 1, but 2 different academic degrees in sports science and in marketing. This just goes to show that it is possible to balance 2 different lives at once, with a strong will, careful planning, and a great deal of ambition, and at the same time still manage to reach the very highest levels of professional football. Also, if you want more ideas on how you can balance football and school, I have a video called How to Balance Football and Life that I'll leave a link to in the description that you can watch after this video. Next up, we're going to get a bit personal because we're going to discuss my role model and idol growing up, Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano's story is well known already. He grew up in poverty on the island of Madeira and left his family at only 11 years old to chase his dream in the capital of Lisbon and Sporting Club de Portugal, and then went on to represent some of the biggest clubs in the world, including Manchester United, Real Madrid and Juventus, winning Champions Leagues for fun and becoming the top scorer of almost every competition he has played in. But if it's one thing that you should take away from Cristiano's story, is not all the goals or the trophies that he have accumulated across his career, but more so his unbelievable desire to succeed and always improve. Because no matter what your circumstances are right now, you can always get better. Perhaps that is Cristiano's greatest quality, because without it, none of his incredible achievements would have been possible. Now playing for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia at 31 years of age, maybe Neymar didn't reach the astronomical heights many people destined him for. Sure, he has scored the most goals ever for Brazil, he has played for both Barcelona and PSG and won a lot of trophies, but I'm sure most people would agree that Neymar probably could and should have done more with his career. Therefore, I believe that Neymar is a very good example of what can happen to a player who deals with too much success and limelight early on in their careers. It doesn't even have to be at a global scale like in his case. It can just be about becoming the best player on your current local team and then starting to get comfortable in that position. It truly shows the importance of staying humble to yourself and know that you can let up the hard work and the dedication that took you to that position in the first place. Because then you may end up never reaching your full potential, just like Neymar. Nowadays a golfer, but prior to that, Bale definitely enjoyed an incredible career, with his most incredible period coming at Real Madrid, where he led them to their sought after 10th Champions League trophy, La Decima, and then won another 4 Champions League trophies in the years that followed. Bale definitely shared a lot of traits from the previous examples, but what I want you to take away from his story this time, it's not him or his qualities directly, but more so the team that he has created around himself that has led him to the success that he's had. Does the name Jonathan Barnett ring any bells? Barnett was Bale's agent, and without him, Bale's move to Real Madrid would probably never have happened, and those 5 Champions League trophies wouldn't have been a part of his legacy. What I really want to stress here is that it doesn't have to be an agent specifically, because that may be something that you acquire later in your career or perhaps never. Think of it more like that you're trying to build a team of people around you that you know will support you or assist you in some way. It can be a parent that helps driving you to practice, a personal coach that teaches you things outside of team training, or something as simple as a friend to talk to when things aren't going that well. By building a team, you can prepare for expected and unexpected things that will come your way. This shows the importance of building a network to help you in getting to where you want to go. And who knows, with the right network, maybe it's you who will lead Madrid to their next 5 Champions League titles. The college path is often one that is debated if it's the right way to go if you want to have a career in pro football. Many players are a bit scared of going to college because they fear that the studies will take up the majority of the time and they will lack the focus and the time to actually reach a professional level. However, it's definitely not impossible, and you may not even have to choose between one or the other. One player that decided to go the college path and then went on to play in the Premier League and also making several appearances for the United States is Clint Dempsey. Clint's journey began in a small city in the US called Nacogdoches, where he had dreams of becoming a professional footballer. He was, like many of you, dreaming of making it big in the sport that he loved. However, what makes Clint's story special is the time that he spent in college. He attended Furman University, where he combined his passion for football with his pursuit of education. Balancing a college education while playing football at a high level is no small feat, but that's exactly what he did. At Furman, he honed his skills and showcased his talent on the field, eventually catching the eye of scouts. In 2004, he left college a year early because New England Revolution from the MLS came calling. From there, Clint's career soared. He played for Fulham and Tottenham Hotspur in the English Premier League and then went back to the MLS to join Seattle Sounders. Clint's journey in European football opened the door for many other American players, proving that they could compete at the highest levels. Clint Dempsey's story shows that pursuing a higher education doesn't have to hinder your football dreams. It can elevate them. When I was a kid, I tried different sports like floorball and skiing, but I decided very early on that I wanted to pursue a career in football. However, there are several players that show talent in many different sports and can't decide which one to go with. You shouldn't get overly worried about it, as playing different sports can give you many different benefits down the line, and one example of this at the top level is Australian footballer Tim Cahill. Tim Cahill's journey to the top of the footballing world began in Sydney, Australia. Like many of you, he had dreams of becoming a professional footballer, but his story took an unexpected twist when he transitioned into boxing in his teenage years. In the boxing ring, Tim developed resilience, discipline, and a fighting spirit that would later serve him well on the football pitch. The skills he gained from boxing, such as mental toughness and a never-give-up attitude, became invaluable assets in his football career. His signature celebration, the boxing pose, became a symbol of his journey, a reminder of where he came from and the determination that fueled his success. Tim Cahill's story is a testament to the idea that life's detours and unexpected experiences can instead be viewed as valuable lessons on the path to greatness. In no way, shape, or form am I intending to compare myself to these legends of the game, but I have reached what is considered a professional level, and I know many of you are interested in the story of how I actually got here. To summarize my entire career so far in about a minute will be near impossible, but in a future and more extensive video, I will cover my entire journey from the start until where I am now. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that one. I think the most important key point from my career is perseverance, even when having faced rejection. As a kid, I worked my way up to being the best player at my local club, all through hard work on my own. But as soon as I switched to better teams and played against better players, I couldn't play the same way, and it became a humbling experience. I have been very low on self-confidence during large periods of my career, and even struggling to get playing time at the youth level. But at the same time, there have always been light at the end of these different tunnels, and I've come out on the other side stronger, with new knowledge and a newfound self-confidence, and then started to perform really well. What I've come to learn is that a career in football is really a roller coaster ride, and you should learn to accept that as well as you can, and then work towards making the highs longer and more consistent each and every time. And I didn't sign my first professional contract until I was 22, so that also shows the power of perseverance, patience, and not throwing in the towel too early. Even at the top level, there are many players who can be considered as late bloomers. Players who may not have been the most prominent at the youth level, but who have stuck through and not given up on their dreams. Olivier Giroud is definitely one of those players. Giroud's journey to the top of football is one that should resonate deeply with many of you who may be considered as late bloomers. Giroud did start his professional career at 19 years of age in League 2, but for a long time his name was not in the spotlight. While many of his peers were on their way to professional success, Giroud was still working his way up through the lower levels of French football. He played for clubs like Grenoble, Istres, and Tours, and while he showed promise, the path to the top seemed long and challenging. But Olivier was patient. He continued to work hard, improve his skills, and not give up on his dream. It wasn't until he joined Montpellier in Ligue 1 at 24 years of age that he truly began to shine. His incredible goal-scoring exploits at Montpellier was, in the end, what earned him his move to the Premier League and to Arsenal. Giroud's story should act as a beacon of hope for many players who can be considered as late bloomers. And it proves to us that success doesn't come at the same time for everyone. So for those of you who might be on a similar journey to Giroud, take heart in the knowledge that your story is still being written, and the best chapters may be yet to come. A lot of players get stressed out about their journey and scared that just because they're not playing in the best teams or academies, they will never be able to reach the pro level. One player that shows that it's still possible to achieve what you want, no matter what team you play for, is Chris Smalling. His journey began in the non-football league in England, where he played for Maidstone United. At this stage, very few would have predicted the incredible trajectory that his career would take. But Smalling's talent and determination did not go unnoticed. He caught the eye of scouts and was signed by Fulham in 2008, marking his entry into professional football. From there, his journey only gained momentum. The transition from non-league football into one of the best clubs in the world is proof that you don't need to play in the best teams or academies to make it. Next player up is the Portuguese legend Deco. Deco's path to the top of football is a remarkable story of adaptation, versatility, and the power of innate skill. He began his journey in Portugal, where he made a name for himself not in football but in futsal. Deco's technical abilities were evident from the start, and they were honed on the futsal court. The quick footwork, close ball control, and vision that he developed on the futsal court would later become his defining attributes out on the football pitch. At a certain point, Deco made the decision to transition from futsal to football, a move that was met with some skepticism. Yet, the skills that he had built up and his will to succeed allowed him to quickly adapt to the football pitch. He signed for Porto in 1999, and that marked the beginning of a highly successful professional football career. He went on to play for some of the top clubs in Europe, including Barcelona and Chelsea. His influence on the field was undeniable, as he played a pivotal role in multiple title-winning campaigns. For aspiring players who may have diverse football backgrounds, Deco's journey should act as a source of inspiration. It shows that you shouldn't fear trying different things, because the skills that you learn in one place may then transfer into another. Player number 15 on this list hails from South Korea, a country with a growing love for football. However, the player in question, Heung-min Son, faced a unique set of challenges due to the limited opportunities available for footballers in his home country. Son's journey began in Chungcheon in South Korea, where he displayed an immense passion for the game from an early age. He had a dream, like many of you, to become a professional footballer. But in a country where football isn't as prominent as other sports, he faced significant hurdles. Opportunities for young talents in South Korea were limited, and the competition that he faced was fierce. The pathway to professional football was not as well defined as in more prominent footballing nations. But that didn't stop Son. He refused to let the lack of opportunity hinder his dreams. He worked tirelessly on his skills, always pushing himself to the limit. His dedication was fueled by his love for the game and the belief that he could overcome these challenges. Son's journey eventually took him to Europe, where he joined Hamburg SV, then Bayer Leverkusen, and then went on to play for Tottenham Hotspur in the English Premier League. Heung-min Son's rise to the top of world football should act as a source of inspiration for players in South Korea or in other places where opportunities may be scarce. It once again illustrates the importance of hard work, dedication, and a belief in your abilities when the odds are stacked against you. The journey of Christian Pulisic is further proof of how you can walk different paths but still reach the destination that you want. As a kid, Christian's talent was undeniable, and he earned a scholarship to attend the US Soccer Development Academy in Bradenton, Florida. This scholarship provided him with the opportunity to train in a highly competitive environment and receive top-tier coaching. During his time at the academy, Pulisic's skills flourished. He showcased his technical abilities, his vision, and his remarkable work ethic. The experience at the academy was instrumental in his development as a footballer and would later pave the way for his professional career. Pulisic's scholarship was not just a financial aid, it was a doorway to realizing his dream of becoming a professional footballer. His journey took him to Borussia Dortmund in Germany, where he made a name for himself as one of the brightest young talents in European football. If you are a young aspiring player who right now may not have the best opportunities, Pulisic's story shows that if you keep working hard, eventually opportunities will show up and you should seize them no matter how humble they seem. The last player on today's list is someone that everyone should be able to draw inspiration from, for not only what he has done for football, but for his country as well. And it's none other than George Weah. Weah's story is a remarkable one, taking him from the impoverished streets of Liberia to becoming one of the greatest footballers in history. He faced challenges that most can scarcely imagine, but his unwavering determination and talent would lead to a legendary career. Born in the neighborhood of Claratown in Monrovia, Liberia, Weah had to overcome the adversity of a challenging environment. Football was his refuge, and he displayed immense talent even in the most trying circumstances. George's remarkable journey began when he caught the eye of local Liberian coaches who recognized his extraordinary skills. This led to a scholarship at a US college, which was his ticket to international recognition. His performances on the college stage then propelled him further to a professional career in Europe. Weah played for several top clubs, including Monaco, Paris Saint-Germain, and AC Milan. His incredible speed, skill, and goal-scoring ability earned him accolades and even a Ballon d'Or in 1995. But what makes George Weah's story truly remarkable is his dedication to his homeland. After retiring from professional football, he ventured into politics and eventually became the president of Liberia. He used his platform to make a difference in the lives of his fellow Liberians, turning the page on an inspiring journey from adversity to leadership. George Weah's story is a testament to the transformative power of football and the idea that no matter who you are or where you're from, You should never let that limit what you believe that you can achieve. As emphasized in this video, not many players share the same path to the top. There will be different obstacles and different hurdles for you to overcome in your journey compared to the other obstacles and hurdles that other players may face. But as evidenced by all the examples, it is possible if you put your mind to it and don't give up. Write your own story. And perhaps it's you that I talk about in one of these videos in a few years' time. On the way to my first pro contract, I made 7 mistakes that could have proved very costly if I didn't correct them. That video had become the most popular on my channel and have almost reached 100,000 views. So make sure that you give that one a watch to learn some incredibly valuable lessons and to make sure that you're not making the same mistakes. If you like this video, consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the new content that I put out. Other than that, I'll just see you in the next one. Take care and bye.